Good morning. I'm Brian Downs. It's November 11th, 2025, coming to you from Orlando, Florida. Just about 7:30 in the morning. Let's talk about tariffs and the Supreme Court. And by the way, what the Supreme Court does. And of course, the delusions of our lamentable President, Donald J. Trump. During Liberation Day, President Trump imposed sweeping and choking tariffs on just about every product in the world coming in from almost everywhere to the United States. Because, of course, Trump is the kind of idiot who thinks that he has a simple solution to the large and complex question of international trade. He has presented this, of course, as his great piece of genius. He is now, raining prosperity on Americans. This, of course, is totally ridiculous because tariffs are paid by Americans. This has been well proven and well known. The price of everything has gone up, which, of course, is exactly the opposite of what Trump promised to do while he was on the campaign trail. Trump is an economic illiterate who lives in a fantasy land. But that is all prelude to this. The Constitution very clearly gives the power to tax to Congress, not the president. Congress creates taxes, which include tariffs, with legislation. Now, obviously, an American president can weigh in on that process. He can give speeches and try to use his influence, but the president doesn't create that legislation. Congress does. This is well known. Now, there's a law called IEEPA, which is, what do you call it, an acronym for a longer phrase that I don't remember. It's created 50 years ago that grants the U.S. president, some limited power to create trade policy during some kind of emergency or crisis. The IEEPA law does not include the word tariffs, and it certainly does not intend to grant the president unlimited power to impose sweeping tariffs on the whole world forever, which is what Trump has done, or at least until further notice. IEEPA was created about 50 years ago, and no American president has ever interpreted it the way that President Trump has decided to interpret it, because of course Trump interprets everything to read everything, including his laundry list, to read. Trump gets to do whatever he wants. So Trump says, I have this power. He does not. The Constitution is very clear. Trump has imposed this power, and boy, here's a point I want to make. Then the tariffs were collected. People were charged these tariffs. Hey, maybe we should have a system wherein, before the orders of a president are carried out, somebody checks to see if those orders are even faintly legal. So, Trump has imposed these totally illegal tariffs, and now the question is before the Supreme Court. The right choice is clear. It has not been made, but the right choice is clear. The tariffs are unconstitutional. Congress has the power to tax, not the president. So, of course, President Donald J. Trump is trying to pressure the Supreme Court by making public statements saying, oh, well, if the tariffs are ruled unconstitutional, then the whole country will go broke because my economic policy is such genius. It's, of course, everything he does is genius. That's his view. He's wrong. The tariffs are unconstitutional. And by the way, the Supreme Court does one thing. It compares laws to the Constitution. And then it decides if that law, those laws, contradict the Constitution. If they do, then they are struck down. That's it. That's all. I see so many people, including the president, who seem to think that what the Supreme Court ought to do is what's good or sensible or popular or in keeping with this particular individual's view on the world, whoever you happen to be speaking to at the moment. That's not what they do. They just decide if a law contradicts the Constitution. That's all. That is their one duty. To do anything else is to contravene their duty. They're not there to decide if that law is good or bad or profitable or not. They are just there to decide if it contradicts the Constitution, and if it does, it must go. The law falls. So making the argument that, well, it'll be bad for the economy. No, your presidency is bad for the economy, Mr. Trump. But even if it is bad for the economy, that's not the Supreme Court's job. Astonishing. So, our president either simply doesn't understand what the Supreme Court does, which it is his duty to understand how government functions, or he's simply lying again. Of course, this has been the defining characteristic of Donald Trump's political career and his existence. You know, is he an incompetent or is he a criminal? It's hard to sort them out. In any case, he does not understand what the Supreme Court does. And his habit of simply flinging himself against any constraint on his power marks him out as an enemy of liberty and the Constitution and the American people, which is why he must be removed from office for any number of impeachable offenses, and more obviously, because he's descending into dementia, and the 25th Amendment should be invoked to remove him as incapable of fulfilling his duties. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. One day, we will all laugh at this, or be killed in a gulag.